They stripped him of his life and threw him into a pit just to see if he'd turn into a monster. He survived on snakes and buried his humanity just to crawl out and settle the score. If you're looking for a revenge story that'll chill you to the bone, stick around. This is the beginning of Reaper of the Drifting Moon. In that darkness, Pyo-wol had to learn to strike first or end up 6 feet under. Don't get left behind, smash that like button and subscribe so we can get this revenge started right now. Let's get into it. They're tearing through the woods like the world's on fire. The order was simple: find him and erase him from existence. No room for hesitation now. Today only steel speaks. There he is, one with the filth. Pyo-wol's eyes aren't human anymore. He scans his surroundings with the cold, calculated gaze of a predator. He knows the score. Either he slits these scouts' throats, or their masters will kill them for being useless. But it wasn't always this way. Before he became this thing, he was just another drifter, a nobody who kept to himself and stayed out of trouble. Until he crossed paths with the giant in the straw hat. That one meeting tore his life apart in a heartbeat. He woke up in a hole, buried in a pitch-black darkness that reeked of rot. There was nothing left for him but the raw instinct to survive, a world where he ate snakes to live and fought off vermin even hungrier than he was. If he didn't sink his teeth in first, he was as good as dead. He wasn't alone in that pit. There were others just like him, all with the same desperate goal: kill or never see the sun again. The men pulling the strings wanted to forge the perfect killing machine. In him, they found their star pupil. Pyo-wol learned the language of the blade, long before he learned to speak. Day by day, second by second, he morphed into the very nightmare his captors had dreamed up. Back in the present, they've finally tracked him down, a pack of fools looking for a quick kill. But look at his eyes. He's forgotten what it means to be afraid. All that's left is a bloodlust so thick you can smell it. He survived that hell for one reason: to make them pay for every agonizing second he spent in the dark. And he's going to settle the score right now. Pyo-wol thinks today is his lucky day. Taking full advantage of the town fair, he managed to score a decent meal, and even swiped an apple for dessert. At 14, he's just another orphan surviving on his wits, alone and without a roof over his head. There he goes, walking with the confidence of a boy who thinks he's found a quiet spot under a bridge to sleep. But as he's looking for a place to roll out his blanket, a massive shadow brings him to a dead halt. A towering figure in a straw hat and a veil stands before him, looking like something out of a nightmare. The kid freezes. He has no idea who this man is, or why he's staring him down, but the tension in the air is thick enough to choke on. And in the blink of an eye, everything goes to hell. When he finally opens his eyes, the world has vanished. He isn't blindfolded, but the darkness is so heavy he can feel it pressing against his skin. He tries to move, but his body won't obey. He doesn't have an ounce of strength left, as if he's been buried alive. He's terrified, breaking into a cold sweat, as he tries to make sense of how he ended up in this hellhole. Suddenly, the giant's face flashes in his mind. The man had stopped him just to tell him that he looked useful. A hell of a way to find out your life doesn't belong to you anymore. The man hauled him off like a sack of potatoes and tossed him into this pit without a word. Pyo-wol doesn't owe anyone a thing, but his life as a free wanderer ended today. Now all he can do is swallow his helplessness while he struggles to breathe in this cage. It's so dark he can't even tell if his eyes are open. Pyo-wol begins to chant his name and age like a prayer to keep from losing his mind. He knows that if he forgets who he is, he's truly lost. He has no idea how much time has passed, hours or days, because inside this place, time has ceased to exist. The boy is starving, and panic is eating him alive. None of it makes sense. He was chosen for this place without warning and won the lottery of pure misfortune. The grand prize is being trapped in a stone pit that's destined to be his grave. But just as his body is ready to give up, his survival instinct kicks in like a slap to the face. He hears the faint sound of dripping water, and the noise breathes a spark of life back into him. He knows if he doesn't get a drink, he's a dead man, so he summons strength from nowhere and begins to crawl across the stone. Every single muscle screams in pain, but he tells himself he isn't going to kick the bucket today. He claws his way to the wall searching for an exit, but it's solid rock without a single crack to escape through. He tries to climb anyway, only to end up tearing his fingernails to shreds, a sharp, dry pain that leaves him breathless. He collapses onto the floor, spitting blood and accepting that he's reached his limit. He lies there, waiting for his body to take one last gasp before his breathing stops for good. But just as he's about to fade out, he senses a presence. A pair of sandals appears right next to his head, as if someone has been watching him suffer from the front row. The boy opens his eyes, completely disoriented. He can't fathom who else could be in this hole, let alone how they appeared without making a sound. Suspicious doesn't even begin to cover it. The ghost of that boy drifts over, hovering beside him. He asks why he's even bothering to stay alive. He looks down with pity, whispering that he should just give up and find some peace. As if dying in a hole like this were as simple as falling asleep, Pyo-wol is at his breaking point, but he refuses to let death take him without a fight. "I'm going to survive," he screams. He'll endure anything, because he refuses to die until he makes the bastards who threw him in here pay. Revenge is the only thing keeping him conscious. The phantom lingers, pressing him, asking if he really thinks he can hold out. Pyo-wol answers with a never that echoes through every corner of the pit. The vision offers a faint smile and vanishes, leaving him to wonder if he's finally lost his mind. But his stomach doesn't care about ghosts. The hunger is becoming unbearable. He drags himself toward the wall, spotting patches of moss clinging to the damp stone. He has no idea if it's poisonous, but at this point, he doesn't have the luxury of choice. He shoves a handful into his mouth. It tastes like straight mud, but his body desperately reacts to the intake. It tastes like the grave, and he nearly gags, but this is the first step. If he can stomach this, he can stomach whatever comes next. Chewing with pure spite, he vows to survive no matter the cost. He begins to feel along the walls, trying to map out the dimensions of his prison. He runs the numbers quickly. He's trapped in a space roughly 30 feet square. It's tiny. But Pyo-wol isn't stupid. He knows he didn't end up here by accident. Someone went to great lengths to lock him away. Suddenly, the screech of metal piercing the silence makes him jump. A slot in the iron door slides open, and a sudden beam of light nearly blinds him. After so much time in total darkness, the glare feels like a physical blow between the eyes. He lunges toward the light, desperate for a glimpse of the world, but all he sees is a fleeting shadow before a bowl is slid onto the floor. The slot slams shut, leaving him gasping in the dark once again. As he catches his breath, a familiar scent hits him. Food? He crawls toward the bowl and begins to inspect what they've given him. It's a mess, but he can identify scraps from 5 different dishes: spoiled fish, tea leaves, and pork fat. This is where his sharp instincts kick in. If he's being served leftovers from 5 different meals, it means there are at least 5 people eating outside. Nobody builds a bunker for just one prisoner. He likely has neighbors in other cells. But before he can worry about who they are, he needs to eat. He recognizes the spicy kick of Sichuan cooking. Compared to the moss, this is a feast. He shovels it down. He knows that if there's one thing he has plenty of in this hole, it's time. There will be time to plan an escape later. For now, he needs a full stomach to think straight. At the very least, this beats eating the damp off the walls. Pyo-wol isn't one to waste time. He's been trapped in this pit for 4 months now, and he trains like he's due on a battlefield tomorrow. Look at him, doing vertical handstand push-ups in total darkness, pushing his body to its absolute breaking point. Once a day, a tiny slot slides open just long enough to toss in a bowl of something that barely qualifies as food before it slams shut without a word. Talk about zero hospitality in this hellhole. The kid is already adapting to the cramped quarters. After so long without a glimpse of the sun, his eyes have started to function like a cat's. The place is crawling with vermin that have never seen the light of day. Giant centipedes patrol the floor as if they own the place. But the real threat emerges from the shadows. A white snake strikes with blinding speed, and before Pyo-wol can even react, it's already coiled tightly around his arm. The creature sinks its fangs in without hesitation, and the boy lets out a raw scream of agony as it feels like liquid fire is surging through his veins. The snake delivered a dose that would kill a grown man in seconds, but he refuses to let his story end in this pit. In the midst of his agony, he notices something strange. His eyes have given up on the sun and decided that darkness is now optional, allowing him to see everything with startling clarity. Right in front of him is the white snake, watching him with eyes like glowing embers. Instead of recoiling, he stares back with the curiosity of a man who has nothing left to lose. He recalls stories of warriors who built up immunity to poisons. Since the isolation has already pushed him to the edge, he sees the creature as an opportunity. He decides that if his body can survive this, he'll become a living fortress. Abandoning all common sense, he offers his arm to the snake once more. The snake doesn't play hard to get, it sinks its fangs in deep, injecting another massive dose of pure venom. His blood burns and his arm swells, but he realizes that this time, the pain is actually manageable. The creature is a survivor too, a mutant that evolved to rule the shadows, and Pyo-wol looks at it with a strange sense of respect. They are two predators sharing the same dark void, waiting to see which one of them will eventually become the other's dinner. Suddenly, the ground begins to tremble, the signal that his confinement has come to an end. With his senses sharpened, the boy detects every vibration as the stone door that kept him hidden for months finally grinds open. Pyo-wol slips into the hallway, moving like a shadow through the gloom he has now mastered. He counts every step, mentally mapping the distance in this labyrinth, until a foul stench stops him dead in his tracks. It's the smell of rot and forgotten flesh, and the source is right there on the floor. It's another boy his age who couldn't handle the pace these lunatics set and ended up discarded like trash. Pyo-wol knows that if he hesitates, he'll be the next one on the pile. He keeps moving down the corridor until he reaches a massive iron door. Noticing it has no locks, he puts his weight into it and shoves, ready for whatever lies beyond. Two silhouettes are waiting on the other side. It turns out he wasn't the only guest invited to this party. He finds himself face to face with other survivors, all wearing the hollow stare of those who have already walked through hell. The kid spent months fighting a snake just to get out of his hole, only to be met by humans, who are usually far more treacherous than any reptile. This was just the warm-up. Pyo-wol crawls out of his hole, desperate for anything better than another second locked in with that psychopathic snake. The moment he steps into the corridor, he runs into two other kids looking just as gaunt and haggard as he does. He stares them down with those eerie, nocturnal eyes of his, but the other two don't even flinch. In this pitch-black void, they can't even see their own hands. The girl nearly jumps out of her skin at the sound of footsteps, her voice trembling as she demands to know who's there. Pyo-wol realizes he's the only one who developed night vision during their confinement. To him, it's clear as day, but for them, it's the bottom of a well. He introduces himself, explaining that he came from the adjacent sector. So Pyo-wol and Song Cheonwoo are stunned. They had no idea this prison was so much larger than they'd imagined. Pyo-wol isn't in the mood for small talk. He bluntly orders them to follow him and starts walking with total confidence. Since the others can't see a damn thing, they link hands and follow the protagonist's silhouette through the dark. They reach a massive gate, and as they step through, they find the rest of the prisoners, a crowd of kids who look like they've lost every ounce of their will to live. But something doesn't add up. In his sector, people were killing each other over crumbs, yet here, the plates are overflowing. The truth is, these people didn't starve, they chose to end it themselves rather than endure another day in this hellhole. It's clear their captors are experimenting with different methods. Some were deprived of bread, others of hope, being fed a feast just to ensure they had the energy to suffer longer. In the crowd, he recognizes others who were snatched at the same time as him, like Lee Min and Go Shinnok, all caught in the same twisted web. Pyo-wol takes the lead, being the only one not stumbling around blindly, and guides the group toward a heavy stone portal. He throws his weight against it, pushing with everything he's got until the door finally gives way. Suddenly, there's light. To someone who's spent months in a hole, a single torch feels like a sun exploding in their face. While the others shield their eyes and curse the stinging pain, he forces himself to look, noticing they're still underground. It's just that this area is fully lit. Before them stands something surreal. A complex of ancient buildings tucked inside the cavern, like a luxury ghost town buried alive. Pyo-wol goes in for a closer look and spots the deception immediately. The buildings are nothing but painted cardboard and rotting wood, a massive facade built to mimic a reality that isn't there. While he tries to figure out the point of this stage set, Lee Min approaches him. The white-haired girl flashes a smile that feels completely out of place and introduces herself with unsettling confidence, claiming she'll be looking after him from now on. But what really catches him off guard is when she reaches out to caress his face, whispering that his red pupils are beautiful. That's when it clicks. The snakebite wasn't an accident. It was a transformation that rewired his eyes to see into every dark corner of this cave. The problem is, he now has the eyes of a freak, and in a place like this, standing out is the fastest way to get killed. Pyo-wol has a new power, but if he doesn't learn to hide it, his new vision will be the last thing he sees before they put him in the ground. Lee Min watches him with that smirk, remarking that while everyone else is running around like headless chickens, he's the only one who seems to have his head on straight. Their conversation is cut short when So Pyo-wol and her bodyguard show up to stake their claim. The brunette asks what they're plotting, but the white-haired girl plays dumb, casually claiming they were just catching up. Acting like she's already in charge, the girl explains that the other candidates have decided to huddle together for safety. She offers them a spot in her group of survivors, but Pyo-wol isn't a follower. He gives her a will see, so cold and dismissive that the girl's companion looks like he's about to pop a vein in his neck. The guy tenses up, but So Yaol stays calm, telling Pyo-wol to find her if he changes his mind. She has the chilling composure of someone who already owns the place. The white-haired girl doesn't hesitate and joins the group immediately, knowing that in this hole, playing the lone wolf is a one-way ticket to the graveyard. As they walk away, Pyo-wol stays behind, watching them go. He figures that spending so much time in the dark has fried everyone's circuits. There's no way any of them are still sane after that kind of torture. He decides to watch from the shadows before diving into that nest of lunatics, convinced that for now, his own shadow is the only thing he can trust not to stab him in the back. Man, that ending in the cardboard town was absolutely twisted. If our guys got snake eyes now to see the truth where everyone else gets lost, then use that pro vision of yours to smash that like button. Subscribe for more stories like this, and let me know in the comments which manhwa you want me to cover next. See you in the shadows.